Powered by Riverside.
Wemby tries a three, puts it up, off the mark, and another the rebound. It's over. It's over. Knicks fans, this is not a dream. Your long, long wait has ended. Go ahead and cry. After 53 years, the Knicks are finally NBA champions once again.
Hey, yo. Welcome to another edition of Hey, Yo with D. Shelton. I am the host of this show, podcast, whatever you want to call it, Del Rico Shelton. As always, I'd like to thank Riverside.fm for giving me the ability to give you this voice and this face to platforms such as Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio, and others. And speaking of those platforms, please like, share, and subscribe to Hey Yo with D. Shelton on said platforms. Like, share, and subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. And I really want to thank you all because the channel is actually growing faster than I thought. I could not do this without you. So once again, I would love to say thank you. You can find me on Hey Yo with D. Shelton on Instagram. You can find me on TikTok, Hey Yo with D. Shelton. Okay. For those, also on Threads, Hey Yo with D. Shelton. Also, Blue Sky, Hey Yo D. Shelton. .bsky.social. You'll find me there. I do not mess with Twitter. For those that are used to the political side, the raw side of my personality, you can find those episodes, not those episodes, but my political commentary on the Black pages hosted by Del Rico Shelton. The Black pages hosted by Del Rico Shelton. This channel, Hey Yo with D. Shelton, is changing. This is going to be more sports, wrestling, and culture. This kind of more fun. So, but if you want the political side and the real nitty gritty, please go follow the Black pages hosted by Del Rico Shelton on Spotify. Soon to be on iHeartRadio and Apple as well. As you just heard, the New York Knicks, the New York Knickerbockers, are NBA champs for the first time since 1973. I wasn't even born yet. And I'm happy for the Knicks. I'm ecstatic. As a Dallas Cowboy fan who has not seen a championship, more or less an NFC championship game since 1995, I can greatly appreciate the New York Knicks. I know New York is going crazy. I joked on my TikTok. Once again, Hey Yo with D. Shelton. I joked around and said, you can call the National Guard, you can call the Armed Forces, you can call Space Force, fuck it, you can call Voltron, get the Avengers, get the Justice League, you can get Invincible and Thrag and Omni-Man. It's a whole party and vibe in New York City right now. The New York Knicks won 4-1, and the one game they lost, just to throw a shot of my old political part, a certain orange man came to the Garden, came to New York City, a city that they do not rock with him, and he fucked up the whole vibe of the city. I'm just saying. But the Knicks won. Jalen Brunson, MVP. Jalen Brunson He's a superstar. Let's just go ahead and say it. He's Mr. Clutch. When the Knicks needed buckets, Jalen Brunson did it. Jalen Brunson, if I'm not mistaken, had 45 points. 45. I'm correct. He was 14 to 27. He had 3 assists, 3 rebounds. He had 3 turnovers, so that's even. 2 steals. But he willed the Knicks. They weren't going to lose. They were not going to lose this game. The Spurs actually were up by 16. Do y'all realize the Spurs have had a double-digit lead in every game in this series? And only one of them was, again, the Orange Man came, and they only won that game by a point. If I remember correctly. OG on Anunoby, great defense, save. Let's be real. That shot, the tip in on game 4 is iconic. It may be top 5 most iconic shots in NBA history. Definitely Knicks history. It's probably numero uno, number 1. Mikal Bridges, quiet as kept, had 14. Josh Hart had 13. Karl Anthony Towns only had 2. He was 1 for 7, but he had 10 rebounds, 3 steals, turned the ball over 5 times, but he was in foul trouble throughout the whole game. But when he was in there, he gave Wemby fits. We'll talk about Wemby in a little bit. I'm also going to talk about the UFL championship as well. But this whole playoff run by the New York Knicks is incredible. One of the greatest runs in NBA history. I want y'all to take this in. The Knicks in these playoffs, they only lost 3 times. Twice to the Hawks, once to the Spurs. Let that sink in. They lost 3 times. This has been one of the most historic runs in NBA history. If you deny it, you're out your mind. And I said this last week. I've said it on TikTok also. I said it to my crew. It ain't the Spurs' time yet because, one, they really don't have a closer. Wemby does not have any moves. He just 7'4". At a certain point, you have to develop something. And Wemby need to get in the weight room. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about Wemby in a little bit. But the Knicks, man, the New York Knicks are NBA champions, yo. As I know Stephen A. Smith is probably losing his mind. I know Stephen A. Smith ain't getting no sleep. I know Celebrity Row, but by the way, the Knicks fans infiltrated the San Antonio Spurs home court. It was mad Knicks fans up in that joint. I heard the chance of defense when the Knicks were on defense. But that also goes to show that, America's economy is not what it is if the Knicks can infiltrate home court. I'm just saying people have to sell the tickets, but another political dig real quick, but I'm trying to wean away from the politics on this particular show. The Knicks won the fucking NBA championship, bro. That gives my Dallas Cowboys hope. That gives me hope that my Dallas Cowboys can break a, 31 years? That we can break a curse if the Knicks can win? But Jalen Brunson was, god damn, that little short, he's phenomenal. The Spurs, they had no answer. The man hit 45. They had no answer. He figured them out game 4, quiet as kept. And Mike Brown helped with that with Jose. He's brung him in early. Just for the simple fact of, hey, let me get another ball handler in real quick. I can see where this is going. Right? Jose Alvarado didn't have the greatest game. He was 0 for 5. But that little spell, by me playing the game, help train, and also coach, it wasn't about Jose scoring. It's just the few minutes that Jalen Brunson does not have to bring up the ball and set up the offense. That helps a lot. It keeps your legs. So that's the real reason. And the Knicks bench stunk. They only produced 9 points. The rest by the starters. So out of 94 points, what's that? 85 of the points came from the starters. Out of the 85, 45 came from one dude. That was a Jordan-esque performance. Knock on wood a little bit. But let's be clear. I'm not saying Jalen Brunson is Michael Jordan. No. But the performance, he would not let them fucking lose. He came in with a mission. We're not going back to the Garden. Because if we go back to the Garden, anything can happen. We're ending this tonight off a game that Karl Anthony Towns once again only had 2 points and fouled out the game. It was in complete foul trouble the whole game. One of the biggest rebounds, offensive rebounds, Mitchell Robinson pushed Wemby. That's why I said Wemby got to get in the weight room. Underneath the basket, grabbed the rebound. I want to say it was like 2 minutes or some change left. Kicked it back out. Knicks hit free throws. You wasting more time. Well, anytime when you blow a 16-point lead and you have a double-digit lead in every game, you could say about the Spurs coach, right? What's his name? Mitch Johnson? I apologize if I got his name wrong because I'm excited. You can say what you want, but the players have to make the plays. Game 4, they blew a 29-point lead. That's not on always the coach, ladies and gentlemen. That's players. Sometimes, as a coach, you have to let your players figure it out. You do. You can harp about the timeouts. You can harp about De'Aaron Fox missing the layup. Yes, he knows he should have dribbled the ball out. Speaking of game 4, yes, he knows that. But he went for the kill shot. De'Aaron Fox is the fastest dude on the court. OG made a hell of a play. And let me be clear, you can hate on De'Aaron Fox all you want. The Spurs wouldn't be there without De'Aaron Fox. Were the Spurs in the playoffs last season? No. Who was with them this year? Fully. Throughout the whole year. That would be De'Aaron Fox, right? He helped them win 62 games. They don't get there without him. Do I believe Harper would have been better in situations? Yes. Harper was the one dude. Now, I'm going to speak on the young man in a little bit because he was balling. But he's young. The whole team is young. What is it? The average age on the Spurs starting? Your average unit is what? I'm not going to say starting unit, but the average age is like 25. They're babies, and they got to this point. I don't think they would have got to this point if J-Dub hadn't got hurt for OKC, but that's that woulda, coulda, shoulda. The Knicks are NBA Finals champions. It's just shocking. I'm more excited, and I'm a Laker fan. And I feel more ecstatic for New York than when we won the chip in the bubble. The New York Knicks proved, in my eyes, and the world, if you got a complete unit, pause, you can defeat talent. And I've said this for years. You get me 5 individuals that work as one and everybody knows their role, you will beat a talented team a majority of the time because that team has chemistry and they know how to play off each other. That's the real reason the Nova Knicks, they know each other. They like each other. Dare I say they love each other. I'm speaking of the whole Knicks roster. Everybody knows their role. Cat could start and be the star for majority of teams in the NBA. He chooses to be the number 2. Josh Hart could start for a majority of the NBA teams. He's the heart and soul of this Knicks team. He's cool where he is. Mikal Bridges, who was in the NBA Finals as a Phoenix Sun, he could be a starter somewhere else and possibly an all-star. He chooses to be a role player. OG could be a superstar if he wanted to, a star at least. He chooses to be a part of a unit. Pause. I openly said this, and it was proven when I did my podcast last week, and I said this on TikTok, if I'm not mistaken. I know I said it to my crew in our group chat. If you really look at the Knicks starting 5 versus the Spurs starting 5, the Knicks starting 5 is better. Jalen Brunson is better than De'Aaron Fox. Wemby, yes, is better than Cat. OG is better than Champagne. Mikal Bridges is better than Vessel. Hart and Castle, no matter how much I love Castle, that's even. That's even. Because Castle can score, but Josh Hart can defend, rebound. It's a wash. And it's a wash because, as proven as I'm looking at the box score, Josh Hart had 13. Castle had 6. Castle's 1 for 10. 0 for 3 from 3-point land. Had 3 turnovers to 5 assists. 4 assists. He had 5 rebounds. Now, when we look at Josh Hart's, right? 4 for 11. 3 for 6 from 3. 2 for 3 from the free throw line. 11 boards. 1 turnover and 2 assists. Who won that battle? The Knicks bench was obsolete. Like I said, they only scored, 9 points? But let me be clear. The Keldon Johnson has 7, and Dylan Harper had 25. So technically the Spurs bench outplayed New York bench, right? But I don't consider Dylan Harper a bench player. He's a starter. Not only is a starter, he's a bona fide star. I'm giving a young man his props. Because what's going to happen is this. I'm predicting this next year. De'Aaron Fox ain't going nowhere. For all the Spurs fans and all the NBA pundits, and De'Aaron Fox did not have a great game. No. They don't get to the NBA Finals without him. Remember that. They didn't make the playoffs last year. And when he got there, what was it, the trade deadline? So it was already too late. But De'Aaron Fox had 5 assists, 1 turnover. He was 3 for 15. He had a horrible game. But I'm predicting this is going to be the starting lineup next year. Okay? Harper's starting. Castle starting. De'Aaron Fox is starting. I think Vessel and then Wemby. Because Spurs need a closer. I see their closer. They didn't do it last night because he missed a layup and crucial free throws. But Dylan Harper is the Spurs closer. Next year, he's their closer. It's not going to be Castle. It's not going to be Fox. It's not going to be Wemby. Wemby has to get in the weight room. I'm not saying Wemby has to be like Shaq or Kevin Willis way back in the day. No. Wemby needs about 10 pounds. He needs to get stronger. He can't rely on his length. Pause. He has to develop some moves in the post. He has to. For the Spurs to win the chip, you can't have 5 perimeter players. This is not Golden State. And even then, Golden State did not have, when they were winning championship after championship, they didn't always have all perimeter players. Forgot the dude's name. He was a Knick, and he came over to Golden State. He was the inside guy. I cannot remember his name. And you got to be somewhat physical. That's Draymond Green. And there was a lot of things, and I'm not going to say Wemby. Well, I'm going to say Wemby's dirty because he almost caused Jalen Brunson's ankle to be twisted at the very least. And there's a lot of times where the refs will let Wemby do whatever. And I think that's a call because they don't want Wemby to catch that, what was that, 4th flagrant, and just in case it had to go back to the Garden, Wemby wouldn't be playing. But there's 2 times against Jalen Brunson that there should have been some flagrants against Wemby. And let me get this out the way with Wemby right now while I'm thinking about him, right? You can go to Akeem Olajuwon all you want. But if you go to Akeem Olajuwon, in my eyes, the greatest center I've ever seen. And that includes Kareem and Shaq, by the way. And remember, I'm a Laker. And you don't develop any post moves, no hook shots, no anything. What's the purpose, bro? Wemby has to develop that. I think if he developed the sky hook, I know a lot of kids and players and things think the sky hook is ugly. You couldn't defend it. Now, if Wemby masters the sky hook at 7'4", because it's a finesse move. You know how deadly that would be? You couldn't defend it. How you going to block it? That's what Wemby needs. We know you can handle the rock. We know you can hit the occasional 3. We know you're a good free throw shooter, even though you choked again when it came to the free throw line. Because everybody tends to forget Wemby missed 2 free throws in that 29-point comeback win. And he missed a crucial free throw last night. If he had a sky hook, since it's a finesse move, Wemby, you will be unstoppable. Wemby had 19 points, 7 for 19. He was 1 for 6 for 3, 4 for 5 from the free throw line, 14 boards, 2 turnovers, 2 assists, no steals, but he had 5 blocks. Basically, all those in the first half. The Knicks were like, okay, we're going to pick our spots. Jalen Brunson is what is called a hostage dribble. He had Wemby on his back, hesitated, gave Wemby a little bump, and Wemby kind of stumbled. This is where you need to hit the weight room. And then Wemby at the press conference was like, see y'all never. So you're bitter. The league's not yours yet, Wemby. If it's anybody's league right now, it's going to be either who I consider the best 2 guard, Anthony Edwards, if he can get some help. I mean help. I'm not talking the Timberwolves got to do something with Rudy Gobert. That's what's holding them back. Because it's 4-on-5, basically. And Shea. But since we're talking guards, Jalen Brunson jersey is going to be selling superbly. But it's not your league yet, Wemby. You have holes in your game. You're not strong. And if you go out on the perimeter, people can get by you because you can't use your length. OG dunked on you at least twice. You need a go-to move. You're too lanky to be out on the perimeter trying to do a crossover or between the legs when there's an athletic big. Quiet as kept. Mitchell Robinson is an athletic big. He D'd you up. And then when you got to your mid post, him and Carl stopped you from scoring. So either you shooting a 3 wide open, a mid-range wide open, or you dunking from a oop or something. Hole in your game, bro. Holes in your game. You need to develop a post move. So all the Spurs fans, you can get on De'Aaron Fox all you want. Technically, it is rightfully so. Your superstar didn't show up the way he was supposed to. The rookie showed up and showed out. Dylan Harper's going to be special. All Dylan has to do is work on his handle a little bit more, get that tighter, and get a consistent 3-pointer. Sky's the limit, and he a lefty. Sky's the limit for this young man. That's the Spurs closer. Come next year, it's not Wemby's that's closing. It's Dylan. You got to remember, even when the Spurs were winning chips with Tim Duncan, who was their closer? That was kind of Tony Parker's job, wasn't it? Occasional Ginobili. It wasn't really Tim. It was Tony Parker. Getting into the lane, mid-range. It's really him. He made the plays. Like I said, occasionally Ginobili, but it was really Tony Parker. Spurs can be in that same mode with Dylan Harper. Wemby can get whatever he wants for 3 quarters until he develop a post move or something and give the ball to Dylan Harper and move the fuck out the way. That young boy. I'm sorry, he's not a boy. That young man is special, peeps. Ladies and gentlemen, if he works on his handle and did a consistent 3-point shot, you are not going to be able to stop him. And he's a lefty. Like I said, as a coach, a former player of this game, lefties irritate the hell out of us because they always herky-jerky. The angle of defense is always wrong for you. And they crafty. They can get this shot off kind of sort of whenever they want. It's the worst thing. Everything that you are taught is the opposite. It's directly the fucking opposite. Dylan Harper, god dang, boy. Yo, and you got a well, I ain't gonna say Hall of Fame. You got a dad that won 5 chips who's in his ear. This is why he's special. Dylan does not speed up. He knows his role. I'm sorry. He knows not the role. He knows what to do with that peel. He overextended. He jumped too early for the layup that he blew. That happens. I guarantee it won't happen next year. You got a 3-headed monster. Castle, Harper, Wemby. And all of them under 25 years old. Well, was it? 23. Because I think Wemby's what? 22. Harper is 21. I think Castle's 21. Just let that happen. Let it happen, bro. Well, Harper's the closer. I'm calling it now. Mark the day. June 14th, 2026. Come October and beyond, Dylan Harper will be the Spurs closer. Every team needs a closer. It does not necessarily mean it's the superstar. It does not mean that. People think it is because of, media, sports attention, whatever. No, the closer is the player that, okay, give me the ball and I'm going to make this big bucket. I'm going to make the play. That's Dylan Harper. I'm telling you, it's him. Congratulations once again to the New York Knicks. Jalen Brunson, superstar. The New York Knicks, for the first time since 1973, are NBA champions. And I wrote this on TikTok. I'm going to try to find it real fast.
Tries a 3.
Because it's fitting for what I want to say. Let me see if I can find it. I found it. This is something I meant to put on TikTok, but the New York Knicks, right? This championship ain't just for Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, and Cat. It's not just for them. It's not. This is for Patrick Ewing, Charles Oakley, Anthony Mason, may he rest in power, John Starks, Allen Houston, Larry Johnson, Latrell Sprewell, Mark Jackson, Charlie Ward, Hubert Davis, Carmelo Anthony, Stephon Marbury, Marcus Camby, Chris Childs, and Amari Stoudemire. There's more, but I'm just giving you the brass. That chip was for them too. Congratulations to the New York Knicks. You are the NBA champions. Well-deserved standing ovation for you all. And speaking of other championships, right? I was going to go to the UFL championship at Audi Field in Washington, D.C. I was going to go. Then I saw the weather report. And I'm like, yeah, this ain't the move today. Because it was going to be 90 plus degrees. I'm good on that. I was real good on that. Nope. I'm good. It's too doggone hot. But the UFL championship, the United Bowl, as it's now called, it was a good game. The Louisville Kings defeated my hometown team, the DC Defenders, 27-24 at Audi Field. The United Bowl was hosted by the DC Defenders. Unfortunately, we lost. This Louisville Kings are in their inaugural season. Technically, they're an expansion franchise, but the UFL moved 3 teams. Louisville was one of them. Chris Redman's their head coach. And if I'm not mistaken, they started off like 1-4. I'm sorry, 0-3. And they came back and they hit a hot streak. And closed the season winning the chip. Now, the DC Defenders, they had a 16-7 lead at halftime. By the way, 50 Cent performed. It wasn't bad either. It wasn't bad. And 50 did his thing. I was like, oh. It was pretty cool seeing 50 doing this thing. But overall, DC gave this game away. The reason being is I'm not gonna say they gave it away. Let me change that. The Kings took it from them. They're the DC Defenders' third string quarterback, who became the starter after the backup couldn't do diddly poo when he had it after Jordan Ta'amu, which is the real starting quarterback for the DC Defenders and a MVP candidate towards ACL. What's my man's name? I keep forgetting his name. Jason Bean apparently broke his arm during the game. And they were up 16-7. Now, another thing that blows my mind, especially this year, because I've been to a couple games, and I'm thinking about getting season tickets because the league is now being successful. DC Defenders have a problem when it comes to turnovers. Running back is running, I forgot his name, number 24. You're taught when you know someone's going to catch you from behind, pause. You know you're supposed to cover the ball. Well, Validate, that's his name. We had 4 rushes for 111 yards behind you, and he's on a breakaway. He's losing steam. You cover the ball. I forgot the Louisville Kings defender. He comes out of nowhere in tackle move, punches the ball out, turnover 1. Scott on a bubble screen, wide receiver for DC defenders. He fumbles. Ball gets helmet on ball. After he actually got the first down, so all he had to do is just get down, but doing too much. Fumble, Louisville recovers, 6 points. At that point, I'm like, this is in trouble. Y'all in trouble. After Jason Bean gets hurt, the new backup who just got there because the old backup was some booty. And when I say booty or trash, I'm speaking of this level of football. It's like Perry, who just got there. He throws a pick that turns into 6. So 14 points off DC defenders' turnovers. You don't turn the ball over, you win the game 20-13. It's just that simple. Shannon Harris, who's the coach of the DC defenders, he gave the Louisville Kings their props. Chris Redmond, who was an NFL backup, is not a head coach. He made the decision, I want to say game 4, to change quarterbacks. Oh, by the way, Jason Bean was in Louisville and was traded to DC. He made the decision to go with a new quarterback, Rodgers. And though Rodgers is not the most accurate dude, when you start winning, Chandler Rodgers, when you start winning, you don't stop. You do not mess with the rhythm. And the rhythm was perfect. All of a sudden, they started winning games and winning more games, all the way to the chip. And here we are. They are now UFL champions. And I like the UFL. For those that say this is not NFL, no, it is not. It's not supposed to be. It's not supposed to be. The UFL is fun. The UFL, honestly, is, I'm not going to say inexpensive, but you can have a family of 4 and maybe spend $300 to $400. And I'm including the tickets. I'm including that. I'm happy that young men and coaches get to either prolong their career or get the chance to play a game that they played all their life and love, and have a shot at the NFL. Because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of players in the UFL that's going to be in camps. Since the UFL will start off as the XFL and USFL until they merge, they have had maybe, and I'm just guessing, about at least 70 guys that's come from the UFL to at least been in NFL camps. At least. Which is astonishing. Because we need something. You either got the NFL or you got Canadian Football League. The UFL is in between. And I'm happy. I'm ecstatic that there's football. after the NFL season. I'm trying to see. I can't remember who was the MVP. Let me look that up real fast before I get up out of here. MVP. Right. Oh, as you see, I do this live. Ian Wheeler, the running back, who gave, I'll say it, my DC defenders the business in the other two games. He was the MVP of the game. He had 10 carries for 81 yards and 1 touchdown. 8.1 a pop. Overall, I suggest, this is just me. All right, let UFL, United Bowler side. This league is not the NFL, ladies and gentlemen. It's not. I'm not going to lie to you. But it is a fun experience. I've gone, like I said, a couple games this year. And since the DC Defenders have been in existence, I've gone to at least 2 games a season. Like I said, I'm thinking about getting season tickets. When the season comes back next year, because they're actually going to expand to Oklahoma City, I want to say 2028. And they're looking for another team right now. So there'll be 2 teams added, at least in 2028. If you got the chance to go next year, go. It's fun. Like I said, tickets are inexpensive. Is it NFL quality football? No, don't expect it to be. Don't expect it to be. It's not. But it's a good time. It's a real good time. So congratulations to the Louisville Kings, the UFL champions. My defenders will bounce back, especially when Jordan Tiamo comes back, hopefully. Because he's not going to be in NFL camp. He busted his ACL. That's not going to happen. So he's going to be in UFL again. And once again, congratulations to them. There go New York Knicks. 1973. It gives me and my Dallas Cowboy brethren hope that we can get to the Super Bowl, or at least the NFC Championship game. No, I'm not saying we win a Super Bowl. Stop that shit right there. Because I know a lot of y'all was a God Cowboys saying we going to the Super Bowl. No. I'd be happy with the NFC Championship game. But I'm about to be out, so I'd like to thank Riverside.fm for giving me the ability to give you this face and this voice through platforms such as Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio, wherever you get your podcast from. Also, please like, share, and subscribe to Hear You with D. Sheldon on any of those platforms. Once again, Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio, wherever you get your podcast from. Channel's growing. I greatly appreciate it. This would not be happening without you all, so I greatly appreciate it. You can find me on social media at Hey Yo with D. Shelton, on Instagram, Hey Yo with D. Shelton, on TikTok as well. Also, Blue Sky, Hey Yo with D. Shelton.bsky.social, also Threads, Hey Yo with D. Shelton. I do not have a Twitter. I do not mess with Twitter. Don't ask me about it. It's a cesspool. But I'd like to thank y'all once again. You need more of this content? Oh, I almost forgot YouTube. Go to Hey Yo with D. Shelton on YouTube. If you want to see this show, either on a good TV, your phone, you know what I mean? If you want to see the face, besides Spotify and those others, check out the YouTube. More of that's going to be there too. All right. And as I always tell you all, may Father and the ancestors take care of you, your loved ones, and anybody else you care about. I see y'all when I see y'all. Because now that football is over, basketball is over, we got Summer League basketball coming. And as I say, I am a wrestling fan, so be prepared for a lot of wrestling content too. All right. I'll see y'all when I see y'all, man. Peace.